Hey, Josh Koenigsberg here, partner at law firm Marketing Pros. I'm super excited today to have a conversation with David Williams. David, why don't you take a quick moment, introduce yourself to everyone?
Sure. Thanks, Josh. My name is David Williams, and I'm a criminal defense attorney. I've been an attorney for 27 years. I've had my own law practice approximately 15 years, and I primarily practice in Fort Lauderdale and Broward County, but I also handle matters in Palm Beach and Dade County, and some matters throughout the state of Florida. But those are the three primary counties that I handle cases in. And I handle felonies, I handle DUIs, misdemeanors, pretty much a wide variety of criminal matters.
Great. Awesome. So can you tell everyone how you first got involved with law firm Marketing Pros?
Sure. I started my own practice about 15 years ago, as I said. And at that time, I kind of started off with a bang, and things were going well. I had some good sources of revenue from other attorneys. People started referring their friends and family and things, and then it kind of started to fluctuate a little bit. And there were years were slower than others, and I managed to make it through, and I was still okay. But I wanted to reach a point where I was able to expand my firm, increase my revenue, and just be more comfortable with my situation financially. So I felt like I had to take somewhat of a risk and put my money where my mouth is, and see what I could do as far as getting someone in like your firm.
And you found us, I think, on Google. Is that right?
I did.
Great.
I looked for a little while. I found some other I think less expensive alternatives where there were students working, things like that. But ultimately I found you, and I spoke to you personally, and I was very impressed with what you had to say. Your sales pitch was great. And not only was your sales pitch great, but your company's been great. And that's really what I'm happy about. I'm just super excited to find a company that does what they say they're going to do. That's the way I operate, and that's the way that you operate. So I've been just really, really impressed so far with everything.
Well, that's great. Thanks so much for the endorsement. So as I recall, do you recall how long you've been working with us? I think it's about 12 months now, maybe a little bit
I do. Yeah, it's coming up on 12 months. I started March 1st of last year, 2022. So it's coming up on 12 months. And I think you told me, when we started that, the time frame, and I know there are stages with the process, and the time frame would probably be 9 to 12 months before I really started seeing results, and that's exactly what happened.
Right.
Yeah.
You've been doing it a long time. We figured that out. Right.
Exactly.
But it's so important to manage expectations, because I see, I talk to attorneys. Oh, they told me that they'd have quality leads coming in 30 days or 60 days. And I'm like, well, they're going to take your money for 30 or 60 days. Then we're going to see what's happening. Right. So
sure. And that's what kind of, that's why I was apprehensive with doing something like this in the first place, because, I get emails, pretty much every day from different types of companies making promises that they'll get me on the first page of Google and so on and so forth. And I never believed that. I'm just very very negative when it comes to those types of things. But your company's different, and you're actually doing what you say you're going to do, which is fantastic.
Love it. Well, thank you again. So tell us, you mentioned a little bit more, but let's dive a little bit deeper, or you mentioned it before, I should say. What was going on in the business that caused you to start looking, and then what specific problems were you experiencing?
I wouldn't say I was experiencing problems, but I had some streams of revenue coming in from referrals. I was actually at one point doing direct mail, and those sources just kind of started drying up a little bit, and also just with the way the police were with criminal law, you kind of depend on the police making a number of arrests, and that number of arrests was kind of going down. So I just felt like I needed to keep up with the times and really kind of establish an online presence and get that rolling, so that I could have a steady stream of revenue where I'm not depending on, this firm or that firm, or it's nice to get referrals from family and friends and repeat customers. I get a lot of that because of the way I handle my cases, but I needed something additional. I needed to bump it up a notch, I guess.
Right. Okay.
So
You, in discussing how business was going at that time, you weren't really getting anything from the internet, right? No business.
Zero.
Okay.
I had a website, but it was basically just a placeholder. It was just a functional website. No traffic was being directed there. Zero leads from online. If they found me, they were real lucky.
Right. Yeah. Right. So, in terms of new cases per month and revenue, if you're comfortable talking about that, because what I want to be able to demonstrate here is a lift from when you started to where you are now.
Yeah, it's tough to say the exact numbers because I haven't really looked at it too well, but just my guess. In the beginning, maybe 4 to 5 new cases per month. Substantial type cases. Maybe 25,000 or so per month in revenue. And at this point, after just about 12 months, I would say I'm getting between 10 and 15 new leads per month, probably closing. That's probably the numbers that I'm possibly closing at this point. It's fluctuating, but way up from before. Right. And maybe, probably twice the number of cases per month. And I would say 40 to 50,000 per month. That's kind of my expectation. So it's definitely way up.
Great. From 2x. So we've basically doubled for you in less than 12 months.
Exactly.
Awesome. That's great. So I'm so happy because you know what we're all about, right? Helping you and working together as a partnership. So can you identify what our team implemented or put into place that made the difference? Like, was there 1 or 2 things that you can say, or was it the system entirely?
I think it was the system. I've worked directly with a few people, including yourself and Ian, and the main thing I felt like is your company is very professional. You have a great team of people, and I really felt like for my budget, I was going from 0 advertising budget to what I'm paying now to your company, but I really feel like I'm getting a great value. I do. And I feel like I'm putting myself neck and neck with some of my competitors who are spending 10 times what I'm spending with other companies, which I thought was impossible. So that's one of the things that's impressed me the most is you're professional. I get a whole team. I feel like I'm, if I have an issue, somebody's there immediately. The customer service is phenomenal. You're just really different than other companies in a good way.
Well, thank you. Okay, so the result of our efforts then were you've doubled your revenue, double the leads, but the leads are coming from online marketing, from the internet, right?
Correct.
So, and you still continue the fluctuating leads from the referral sources, and that's one of the problems with referral sources is it ebbs and flows, right? So this
Sure.
It's much more consistent. And so the client acquisition cost is well worth the investment.
Absolutely. But there's no doubt about it. Absolutely. And
can you ballpark an ROI?
I'm sorry?
Can you ballpark a return on the investment?
It's hard for me to put a number on it, but it's way up there. I'm still trying to, quite frankly, I've been so busy. It's been difficult for me to look at the numbers, and really that's exactly what I wanted to happen, and that's what's happened. So our general rule of thumb, and you may recall I mentioned this to you, generally speaking, we're somewhere between 400 and 800% ROI. Right. So based upon what you're investing now and the return that you just mentioned, you're over 1,000% ROI. Yeah,
for sure.
Actually, I'm very happy with that.
Yeah. Oh, I think I'm going to sign myself up.
Right? Might be a good idea. Sure.
Right. Exactly. Actually, we're doing it. So all right. So why did you choose our services over anything else that you could have done, including hiring one of our competitors, trying to do it yourself, maybe going down the path of doing some internships for students? Why did you ultimately select law firm marketing pros?
Well, as far as doing it myself, I just felt like I simply didn't have the time to do it. While I'm running a law practice and managing the law practice and also practicing law at the same time. I have a family. I like to spend time with my family. So those were reasons. And then, like I said, I reached out to, contacted a bunch of different firms, and I just didn't get a good feel for them really as to, what they could accomplish and what they could do. And then when I had an interview with you, you really sold me on your firm, and you seem genuine, and you seem honest, and you seem like, you're going to deliver, the way you say you're going to deliver. And what I liked about that is that's kind of how I see myself in my practice, the same way. So I mean, no matter how good you think someone is or a company is, you're still taking a chance. So I decided to take the chance, and I'm just really, really glad I did. And I wish I had, several years ago. I'd probably be in a different position, but I can only move forward and look at the now. And I'm just really, really glad I made the decision that I made.
So what comes to mind when you say that, we have congruent core values in how we deal with business. And that's real to me, really, really important.
Yeah.
So, okay. So what surprised you the most or made you the happiest? Like, I remember you getting a call from you maybe 3 or 4 weeks into the relationship, and you were like, oh my God, I feel like I spend $1 million a year with you. So, but was it what can you pinpoint something that, wow, this is wow?
Well, I mean, a couple things. I mean, number one, the time frame you gave me was pretty much the exact time frame, and once it got to that point, I really was getting calls, and they were genuine calls, and I almost thought in my mind that these weren't going to be real calls. They were just going to be people that had no interest or interested in something different than what I was doing. But so that's number one. I actually started getting calls, and number two, I mean, there were times this past year where I kind of look at it on a week-to-week basis. I shouldn't, but that's kind of what I do. I'm kind of overanalyze it and look at it a little too much, and sometimes I feel like I'm because I'm a solo practitioner, I have to watch every week, what comes in and what doesn't come in. There were just a few weeks where, basically no, maybe not nothing, but very few cases were coming in from other sources. And guess what? The good cases I got were through the internet from you. So, that made a huge impact on me. That carried me through, and now it's ramped up to the point where it's doing more than that. So.
Great. So how has working with law firm marketing pros changed your practice? And you kind of mentioned this in and out of a couple of other questions.
It's, I mean, really, it's allowed me to focus on the cases more, because I know that I don't have to be the rainmaker that I was so much before. I'm kind of contributing to it by reviewing things that you send me, and kind of managing the whole thing. But I just feel like that's all taken care of, and the phone's going to ring. And so I've just been able to spend more time on other parts of the practice. And I'm also going to be probably expanding and hiring more staff as well. So that's exactly where I want it to be, and that's already happening. So
love it. So happy for you, because that's what we originally discussed way back, a year ago.
Right.
So, okay. So how about for your personal? How has working with law firm marketing pros changed your personal life? Because you seem much more relaxed, less anxious, if you will, than when we first met.
That's exactly right. It's given me a chance to breathe and to kind of realize that things are picking up. Things are going to be smoother for me. I can take more time to spend with the family, just those types of things. But it's taken the pressure off to a large extent, for sure.
Awesome. Quality of life, right? That's why you do what you do.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah, right. Good. Awesome. Okay. So if you were to recommend our services to a colleague, what would you say?
Well, I mean, I would definitely want them to have contact with you and some other people in the company, in order to just for you to be able to espouse what's important and how you operate and things like that. But I would really tell them, you have to spend money to make money. It's $1,000,000% worth it to spend money with your company, because you really do what you say you're going to do. And that's, to me, unfortunately, that's rare in a lot of industries. And I think in your industry, there's a lot of companies that just don't do that. They're happy to take your money, but you don't really see results. So that's the main thing I would stress. If somebody's thinking about hiring you, is you're going to get results. It's going to happen.
Awesome. All right, awesome. So last question is, what would you say to someone who might be on the fence about hiring law firm marketing pros?
Well, I think I would just kind of go into my personal history and say that, I wasn't necessarily on the fence, but I failed to act for so many years, and I just stayed on the hamster wheel kind of thing. And it just, it didn't give me any idea of how my firm could improve until I actually jumped off the diving board, and I took the chance and reached out to you. And I would just say, speak to you again, give it a try. And you have to spend money to make money. But in this case, with law firm marketing pros, there's just, there's no doubt that you do what you say you're going to do. It's a whole team of professionals, and you get all that for, what I think now is a bargain. Before I would have said, when you asked me, that's probably why I called you or texted you. And I said, hey, nothing's happening yet, but I think it had been maybe 3 weeks or a month. So if you wait, the proper amount of time and let it work, it's really, it becomes amazing investment, and it's truly a bargain. And you get like I said, a whole team of professionals for, some people would pay 10 times the money for that. So it's just great all around.
Great. Well, thanks so much, David. I really appreciate you taking your time today to talk to me. Look forward to a long-lasting and continued relationship.
Me as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you.